Hello my fellow riders, today we're going to be looking at what you need to prepare yourself for when we come out of lockdown. So according to the government, potentially there may be some more leeway on going out on your bike in the the end of this month, beginning of next month. They said that potentially they're going to be doing a little bit of releasing people, letting people go back to school, letting people go out on their bikes, letting people do loads of stuff. Whether it happens is two different things, but I thought that I would talk to you guys and potentially help you get prepared for doing so. So when you're first getting out on your bike for the first time, there's a couple of things that you need to check before you go out. Firstly, your tyre pressures. Now your bike has been sitting for a while, so your tyre pressures are going to be low. On most small capacity bikes, tyre pressures are 32, and I had somebody the other day who come in for a service and his bike had 2 or 3 psi in the tyre. When you go around the corners, your tyre is going to be flapping about a bit, and also potentially if you go around hard enough, your tyre can come off the rim and you're going off. Another thing to check is make sure that your oil is okay. If you're been leaving your bike outside and there is any way for condensation to get in the engine, you might find when you check the filler cap that there's a little bit of white residue around the top of the filler cap. If it's only a little bit, don't worry, heat your bike up a lot, take it out, do 10 miles or so, and it should in theory burn it off. If there's a lot, you need to change your oil. But I don't foresee that being too much of an issue at the minute because it hasn't been that cold and wet. It hasn't been through winter. Unless you're getting your bike out for the first time after winter, then especially you need to check this. Another thing to check is your chain tension. Remember, there's supposed to be about ½ an inch's worth of play in between the 2 sprockets of your chain. So make sure that that is correctly tensioned, and put some grease on there as well. Make sure that it's not gone rusty, because when it goes rusty, the links in between tend to stick in a straight line, and when it goes round, potentially it could snap, and you don't want that. Go around, check all your nuts and bolts. If they were tight before, they should still be tight now, but while you're checking, why not? Fuel does go off, so you may have a little bit of an issue if your bike's been sitting around for more than 3 months. Best thing to do is, if you've got half a tank with some old fuel in it, best off going and refilling your tank with new fuel. If you use Tesco's fuel, use their more expensive stuff. If you use Shell or BP, use the cheaper stuff. If your battery's flat, we'll slap you. If your battery's flat, if it's 100% flat, you can stick it on charge, and sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. If you can't get your battery to charge, then you can either get one from Halfords, not so much off online anymore because they've got to be filled before they come. And why not just go and get yourself a lithium-ion one, because then you wouldn't have to worry about this next time. Make sure that your indicators work, make sure your headlights work, and make sure your brake lights work. Sometimes the switches can get stuck, so it's best off to check them beforehand. Also check your brake fluids, and if your bike's got is water cooled, make sure you check the water as well. Now, according to Thames Valley Police, when the most accidents happen when people first start, or the biking season first starts, because people aren't used to riding their motorbike. They're not used to leaning it as it should be. So when you do take it out, go out for a 4 or 5 mile journey, something like that. Make sure you go slow, make sure you start to get the feel of your bike again, because you may have forgotten what it feels like. You may have forgotten your cornering, you may have forgotten how to do your indicators and stuff like that. I'm not saying you have, but it's just all things to check. Another thing to do as well is watch out for other riders and drivers. I've seen myself that the quality of riding on a whole at the minute isn't very good. When we're going home after work and stuff like that, you'll find people swerving in and out of the centre of the lane. You've got to watch out for pedestrians, especially because you've got a lot of pedestrians walking along the road, and at the minute they pretty much own the road and they think they own the road too, so you've got to be careful of that. So I hope this has helped you out, and I hope you listened to some of my advice. Please comment below if you got something to say. Hit that thumbs up if you liked my video, hit the thumbs down if you didn't. Subscribe to my channel and keep updated to all my latest content. But as always, ride safe.